All right, boys and girls, it's week 4. The Jets are taking on the Tennessee Titans. We are 6.5-point underdogs at home. There's a lot of injuries to get into. How does this affect our matchup with the Tennessee Titans?
Jets, Jets, Jets!
Welcome to Jets Talk. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot today. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. All right, let's get into this game. Let's talk a little bit about it. There's a lot of injuries to get into and a lot of things that maybe the Jets might be able to work out in their favor. So first up, let's go into the injury report. Obviously, no Marcus May this week. We heard he's going to be out for a few weeks. Elijah Moore's dealing with a concussion, and then Jeff Smith was actually in a car accident the other day. So all three of those guys are going to be out for this game. And then as far as questionable statuses, we got Jamison Crowder, Tyler Kroft, LaMichael Pirine. So really, what is that? 5 of 6 of our injury report is offensive players, which opens the door for Mr. 1, Denzel Mims. This is not how I wanted Mims to get playing time. I obviously want to see him beat out the other receivers on the team, but since we have a little bit of a thinning at the wide receiver position this week, we're going to be able to see him in the starting lineup, and I'm really excited to see it because the Jets' most explosive play of the season was a 40-yard pass play to Denzel Mims, and it was the only target he had all year. So, Jet fans, while we've been pulling our hair out all friggin' week, all friggin' season, trying to wait for Mims to see the field, we're finally going to be able to see it this week. And according to Pro Football Focus, the Tennessee Titans are currently ranked 20th in terms of defense, which is way better than what the Jets have faced the first 3 weeks. We faced the 1st, 2nd, and 5th ranked defenses according to people on the internet, I guess. I don't know. I guess there's probably a little grain of salt because each one of those teams versed the Jets, and maybe that helped in creating the better defensive rankings. But either way, the Jets seem to have a slightly better matchup this week than what they've had the last few weeks. So I am looking forward to that, and I think there's maybe some opportunities for the Jets to exploit, the secondary for the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Titans are not without their own injuries. Julio Jones, A.J. Brown, Bud Dupree, and Caleb Farley are all going to be out for this game, so the Jets have a little bit of help in terms of trying to dial in the defensive game plan. You can kind of, I don't want to say you can only focus on Derrick Henry, but I think if you can take away Derrick Henry, that makes the secondary have a little bit of an easier job. Our secondary and our defense in general has played relatively well. I'm pretty happy with what we've seen from them over the course of the last 3 weeks. So I'm hoping that can continue against this team. Oddly enough, we're going against Ryan Tannehill, the once hampered by Adam Gase quarterback, just like the quarterback we went against week 1 with Sam Darnold. So, all these Adam Gase connections, not good. But either way, I'm looking forward to this matchup. I think the Jets' run defense has been pretty good. As of right now, the Jets have allowed 37 carries, 121 yards, and 3.3 yards per carry when teams are running it against them. So, by and large, we've actually done all right. So, obviously not everyone is going to be Derrick Henry, but I'm still more optimistic about this matchup because of the injuries to the Titans team and maybe a little bit of where the Jets' strengths may lie in that respect. Now, we are 6.5-point underdogs, so, obviously they don't expect us to win. I, again, don't expect us to win, but you know what? I think I'm looking forward to just seeing some competent offense. And can Zach Wilson rebound after the last 2 games? He had 2 interceptions last week, and he had 4 interceptions against the Patriots. So I would like to see him come out. If we could see him get like a 60 to 65% completion percentage, maybe 250 yards and like a clean game, maybe it's 1 or 2 touchdowns with no turnovers, that would feel really good for the New York Jets. I really want to see this offensive line gel a little bit more. I want to see the running backs get more into it. I want to see less drop passes. I can't tell you how frustrated I've been the first 2 weeks of the first 3 weeks of the season with just nonstop drops, and we're not helping out our quarterback on the run game, in the pass protection game, or in the receiving game. So, would like to see that, obviously. Right now, Derrick Henry being the big area of concern, I guess, for our defense and this game in general. He's really the key piece you have to try and keep in check. Against the Cardinals, 17 rushes, 48 yards. Seahawks, he had 35 rushes for 182 yards and 3 touchdowns. Last week against the Colts, 28 rushes, 113 yards. So this guy is just kind of picking up where he left off. He had over 2,000 yards last season, so this guy is going to be hard to stop. There's a reason they call him King Henry. Now, I want to get into a little bit of prop contests here. If you guys would like to play along, I have a 20-person league that you would, if you'd like to join. My username will be in the description. Just enter that, add me as a friend, and then we will be able to have a little fun with some of these props that I'm going to go over here. So, WinView has been grateful enough to sponsor the channel, so we are going to go through some of the props they have for this game. Prop 1. Both teams combined to score 45 or more points in this game. I'm going to say no. That's an easy one for me, and I'm going to wager 750 of my points here. I don't think this is going to be a very high-scoring game, and because of how the Jets have performed, I think that makes this question a little bit easier for us. Number 2, a player from either team records 8 or more receptions in the game. I don't think the Jets are going to be able to get that many receptions to one individual player, and I think the Jets defense is actually playing relatively well. So I'm going to say no here, and I'm going to wager a pretty good amount of points. Who wins the game? Jets are 6.5-point dogs. I'm not so sure they're going to even cover the spread. I'm going to go with the Titans here, but I'm going to bet I'm going to put a little bit of a smaller wager, 250 points, towards that because I don't want to be overly doom and gloom about our Jets. Number 4, either team kicks 2 or more successful field goals of at least 40 yards. So that would mean the Jets would have to kick more field goals than I think they have kicked the entire season. Is that right? It has to be in one game. So I'm going to say no there. The Jets defense has been pretty good, but I don't know. 40 yards, I think we're going to have a bend but don't break defense this game. And I think you might see a few more field goals that are within that 40-yard range. So I'm going to say no here, and I'll go with a 500-point wager. Either team records a single offensive play that gains 50 or more yards in the game. I think the Jets defense is going to play relatively well with the amount of injuries that the Titans have. And I think the Jets are not going to be able to eclipse the 40-yard threshold that Mims has already had. So I'm going to say no. And I don't think either team gains 50 or more yards in a single play. Derrick Henry records 100 or more total rushing yards in this game. I don't think he's going to get it. I'm going to say no here. I really think that the Jets have a pretty decent shot of bottling him up to a certain extent. Like, I think he is still going to be a factor in the pass game, in the run game, and he may have something like a Christian McCaffrey where he doesn't break 100 yards, but he might have like a lot of yards. Like, I could see him having 80 yards on the ground and maybe like 50 yards in the air, which would, not be good, but I think he will have less than 100 yards. Next one up, Zach Wilson and Ryan Tannehill will combine to throw 4 or more touchdown passes and 2 or more interceptions in this game. Between the two of them, I'm going to say yes. I think Zach gets back on track, and I think he has a clean game. And I don't think 2 or more interceptions. I guess maybe it's a safer bet because of how Wilson has played so far. But I think we can turn it around. I think we'll get 4 touchdowns total between the two, and I think we'll probably see a pretty decent amount of interceptions just because of the young quarterback here. Number 8, either team records a defensive or special teams touchdown in this game. I'm going to say no, and I'm going to go a pretty high amount of points against that. I don't think that is going to happen. Number 9, 𝐒𝐲𝐿 records more receptions than Jamison Crowder in this game. This is going to be an easy yes for me because I know Jamison Crowder is questionable, and I think he may not play. So Cole may only have to get 1 reception here. More points scored in the first half of the game than the second half of the game. I'm going to say yes, there are going to be more points scored in the first half because of, I think the Titans might get out to an early lead if the Jets kind of perform how they have in the first half, and it really hasn't looked good for the Jets the first 3 weeks. So, I don't know. Hopefully we don't get that sort of outcome. I would love to see more points, at least maybe on the Jets side of things. Who am I kidding? I don't care. I would love to see a win. I just want to see some offensive play that I could be proud of and hang my hat on come Monday morning. So guys, those are my props for the game. There are my thoughts for the game. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Join me if you would like to play along. The first 20 people get to come in and have fun and play in the league. So add me as a friend and I'll add you into the league. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, go Jets.